There we go. Hi, I have a face. Also, I don't think I turned on gift bot, so let's do that. And also empty the jar, as I'm supposed to. Alright, so gift bot, empty jar. There we go. And we are pretty much all set, although it's gonna switch screens once it does the thing. But yeah, general plan is to do the Hexipuff, because Anne had redeemed for one on Tuesday, even though I didn't have enough time, because typically a Hexipuff takes me about an hour of stream time. So I want to get that all done and then go down with the second sock, which, first sock, my main complaint is the fact that the heel flap is a bit loose. Which honestly, for the whole sock, I honestly could have maybe gone down to the ones, but the leg and the foot are fine. It's literally just the heel flap and maybe the toe. Could have gone down the ones, but pretty much I do like the sock. Alright, so, alright, that has done its thing. Also, I kind of am very tempted to make a poll of like, hey, what's your favorite Kool-Aid now? Because there are definitely flavors I don't think I've tried. Because typically it's, you know, the mango peach Kool-Aid, let's see. Fruit punch. Fruit punch is definitely the common one. Grape. Thank you. I appreciate the bits. Stuff like that helps out the stream and gets us closer to some goals.
Starting off the day right.
Clear watermelon. No, I don't recall that one at all. I'm pretty sure that would be distinct. Alright, and then let's move you back down here. Have you? Because that sounds like an experience. You're expecting water and then it's just you taste watermelon. I imagine. Also, for anybody, it looked like water. Yeah, I think I might have heard of that in general, but I don't think I've had any of the flavors. It's like, hey, you look like you're being healthy, and it's like, nope. Also, this makes me want to generally look up watermelon kiwi. Interesting. I've had strawberry kiwi, but not watermelon kiwi. Kool-Aid flavors. Although I imagine they've discontinued some by this point. Tropical Punch also is one too. Okay, today Kool-Aid comes in green apple, strawberry kiwi, peach mango, cherry limeade, tropical punch, lemonade, pink lemonade, black cherry, charcoalberry fin, and invisible grape. What? Charcoalberry fin? Excuse me? If I'm making a face, I'm just... What? That one I definitely have not heard of. Ever. It sounds like it's trying to be a playoff of Huckleberry Finn. Yeah, that is a thing. But like certain colors, it would just break apart. Like say purple, it would like split apart into, you know, the base colors in certain areas. So like some hints of like blue, maybe red, depending on the ratio of the color in there. But yeah, so I think you would have that, and I think maybe vinegar or some acidic base like that. I personally have not done dyeing of any kind. I've seen other people do it, but yeah, it's a thing. I do eventually want to play around with it. That's one of those, I think I might require space. So I best not. Alright, how many of these do I have? 4, 8. Okay. Okay, I did get to 12, it looks like. Yeah, there are also food safe dyes, and then there's also, you know, the stuff that you can sift for the dye. Ooh. That would be fun. And I imagine you say try because she was not successful. Alright. Not yet, anyways. Yeah, normally I start this way, but... yeah, that would be why. Also fair. Apartment. Yeah, I was about to say, you guys are in an apartment, so yeah. The only outdoor space would be a balcony, if you happen to have one. That, or that would have to be restricted to, like, say, a summer activity. Where it's not, like, blazing hot and you can have all the windows open. For ventilation and such things. So that makes sense. Daisy! Yay! That got there quickly. I sent those out on... what is it, like 2-3 days ago? So that got there real quick. But how are you doing? How is your work day? Hope all is good. We were just discussing Kool-Aid flavors and... yarn dyeing. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. There it is. Alright. So now we have that all set. That is the one thing I'm very glad about with this. It doesn't take terribly much to cast on. I had discovered that bit of a cast on Pinterest of all places, and it looks like it works pretty well. This is definitely more like a cast on for, like, say, toe-up socks, which I don't do often, but I do like them. So you have to try on the sock the entire way. I have my own yarn now, so, what weight yarn is it? Like, you know, is it like, say, this stuff I'm using, or is it more like, say, closer to Worcester weight, the thicker stuff? Wicker. What? So yeah, the thickness of the yarn makes you depend. What size needles you need. Alright, so fingering weight, depending on what you're gonna make with it, typically you can run the gambit of, say, at most, like, say, a US 6 or 4mm at the largest. And at the smallest, you can arguably go down to, say, a 0, which these are 1s, which is pretty close to a 0, so 2.25 this is. So yeah, it all basically just depends. And if this is your first foray into knitting, I recommend the larger. Excuse me. Oof. I haven't sneezed all day, and the moment I sit down here, I'm just like sneezing like no one's business. Thank you. Normally I mute my mic, but I knew I was not having a chance at that. Nope, 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 nope. We're not doing that. I just got to the end of here. Not dropping that. Haven't done. Okay, yeah, then definitely you'll probably want the larger size needles in order to warrant some practice and muscle memory. Because I know some people, the tinier sizes, tend to trip them up a bit. But depends what works for you. Plus, I imagine you can possibly borrow some of Veggie's needles if she's not busy with them. But yay having yarn and getting to play around with needles. Plus, I imagine it depends on like what kind of needles you want, like say circulars, which is what I'm working with here, or DPNs, which are the pointed sticks, so it's like minus the cable and it'd be points on each side, which you can have wooden ones and you can have metal ones. Or if you want to get, you know, like back to the beginning, I imagine you would want straight needles, but typically most people will either do DPNs or circulars, but there is absolutely nothing starting with straight needles. I still have my straight needles. I had started with those when I first got it started. I haven't used them in how long, and they sit there. I had knit my first blanket using, at least partially using the straight ones, until I got mildly annoyed at them. Be forced to buy it. Isn't that always the way? Especially more so with knitting than it is with crochet. Chatty! Hello. How goes? Sock will appear, but I am doing Hexipuff that got redeemed the last time I was on and couldn't do at the time, so that's gonna be the thing. Until that is completely fair. Thanks! Honestly, I'd be a little bit further if I wasn't taking my time, which, yeah, given the... I think it's less than a week now we have left. I can check when the email is. But it was on noon about Wednesday? Yeah, so about 6 more days from today, if memory serves. But I usually should be able to finish in time. Because these are not difficult socks, in my opinion. I imagine other people might disagree on that, which that is completely fine. Yeah, March 2nd, so today's the 10th, so 8 days. So we have another 6 to go. Ah! That's awesome of you. And it definitely couldn't hurt to at least have something, you know, to get in the habit of, I suppose. Also, I'm obviously not going to be the one to be like, no, don't do it. Not even in the slightest. There's a sock count, but it's for scrappy socks. I keep meaning to eventually do some scrappy socks. Like some stripes. Like possibly some 2 at a time. Panda Izumi, thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a good Thursday. Also, I haven't used this yarn yet. This is one of the Cascade Heritage yarns. This is a stuff that's pretty close to Chroma Twist, which doesn't exist, at least not in fingering weight. So I was just like, let me see how I like this. Alright, I did the thing, so 2 rows of knitting. Also, I realized I forgot to get my little lamp thing before I got started, so I'll probably grab that during the break if sunlight stays consistent enough. Also, probably will grab finished sock.
No, but look here.
Hold on.
No, but if I go outside.
Sorry about that. I don't think they realized that was on, although you probably wouldn't hear them too much, but they get loud enough. I'm just like, let me just preemptively close my door. I hate living at home sometimes. Alright, there we go. There we go. There we go. And I think second round. So for anybody who's wondering what I'm going to be doing with the Hexipuffs, eventually it will be a blanket once I make enough of them, but that'll be like a down the line sort of thing. It's one of those not in a hurry sort of projects. Which I have like 30 something of them hanging out here in a bag in a corner. So that's a thing. Plus, always finishing one Hexipuff is like a nice little completionist sort of thing. Also, did I? Yeah, that would do it. There it is. Computer really wants my attention. Optimize the PC. I will do that later. It wants me to do a scan of all the things and stuff to check for updates. Because I try to do that once a week and it's like, I sometimes forget. Yeah. Oh wow, wound it. It's just yarn barf. I wound it a little too tightly. Oops. Nope. Okay, I've barely done any knitting today. My shoulder feels mildly stiff. Come on. Hold on, it might just be the angle I have it at, but increase. Also, for anybody curious, you can probably find this pattern easily online. There is like a beekeeper's quilt for like $5 on Ravelry, but you can also find it like generally online for free. Which is what I did. And pretty much you kind of get the gist of it after a while. Because you're basically doing stockinette for 2 rounds and then increases for like, say, a couple of intervals. And then you basically do some decreases and also stockinette, also, ow. In that same interval, and then you basically just, once it gets to the top part, you do a Kitchener like one would a sock, and call it a day. Although you do stuff them, so. Okay, there's my thing. Something like this. Which I have some polyfill. So that has been going to contribute to this. No worries. I shall be here making my thing. Also, wow. It's always the increase that feels like it takes forever. I'm probably not going to do the Kitchener because Kitchener is not my favorite. I don't hate it like I used to, given how many times I've had to do it for Sock Madness. That kind of helps. But yeah, it's not my favorite thing to do on stream. Okay, that goes back there so I can have my hands better in frame. Yay. Okay, have I... Yeah, the second one. Alright. Second knit round. Because the increase is essentially a twisted stitch to keep it closed, because if you had it open, it would leave a little gap. Which that is a good way to tell if you've gotten to your 2 knit rounds. Although with thicker yarn and bigger needles, it would probably be a bit easier to read, which would help. Come on, there it is. Increase. There it is. Alright. I am forlornly skipping my tea today because my stomach's been annoying again. And I hate it. I don't know what the deal is. Which I'm suspecting it might be getting worse. I'm waiting it out, but I'm suspect I'm gonna have to go get that looked at again. And I very much am not in the mood for that. Come on, there it is. Alright, it's probably about 16. 5, 10, 15. Wait, what? Why is there 19? Did I mess up somewhere? 5, 10, 15. Yeah, they're both 19. Did I skip an increase somewhere? The hell? 10. Yeah, it's 19 on both sides. So I must have started at... Either I started at 11 stitches or I somehow skipped an increase on both sides, which is not likely. Why? I can probably add a stitch on both sides and call it a day. Nope, don't do that. Nope, there it is. No. Alright, so I'm just gonna put a random stitch in the middle. But honestly, it's not that big of a deal to be one stitch off with these, but eh. Trying to keep them as consistent as I can, which sometimes use hand spun and that makes it a little bit tricky because I have to switch how many stitches I use in order to keep the Hexipuffs as much of a consistent size as I can get. Because sometimes my hand spun is not that consistent. Especially some of my older hand spun, so that's a thing. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Alright, now that that's settled, and then start to decrease. But you can see what's going on now that we have this side, which it's basically going to be this in reverse. So wide and then getting a wee bit thinner as we go along. Also, I feel like this yarn, which, not exactly shocking, feels a little bit on the thin side. Which again, typically my hand spun tend to get a little bit thick. That makes sense. Well, unless, you know, it's the silk stuff. The silk I applied, that ended up being a bit thinner than what I typically spun. So there are exceptions to the rule when it comes to me, but typically my hand spun tends to be on the thicker side of fingering weight. Which, for socks, arguably is a good thing. It means my feet are nice and warm. There we go. Alright, how am I doing on time? I might be able to get this done by the time break comes around. Which, I'm using a stitch marker here just to make sure I don't confuse the front and the back, which when you first get started, it's not terribly difficult to distinguish because with the tail at the end, right here, when I cast on, this orientation would be front, and then with the tail being on this side, you can tell it's the back, but, you know, once you start getting a bit of length, you can't really see the tail anymore, so that's where a stitch marker comes in. Do. Also, it is nice to be doing something that I don't have to kind of stare at a chart for. Yay! Flat or... I presume flat, actually. Because, like, I realize you could do it in the round, which I have done that once or twice, but it's mildly a pain. So doing it flat would be much easier. Also, yay on finishing thing before you have to go back to doing the works. I believe should be second and maybe like an nice. Is it for a specific thing or you just feel like making them? Because other than that one time I did it for sub-squares, not crocheted a heart really. Also, let's nudge this down a little bit, because I'm like mildly wandering out of frame, so I'll make it. Aw, that's so cute. Come on. I don't own any. When in doubt, make your own when you can. Plus, you'll be very much ahead of schedule for next year. Which is just like, that was last month. That indeed was last month. Now it's another 300 and some odd days. Excuse me, my insides are mildly upset at me, and I don't know why. Wish I could have had tea today, but it probably would have made things much worse if I had my tea. Which made me sad because I would have actually had some of the toffee tea I had sitting here I've been meaning to try. Which is why you don't see the tea box that's typically right here. Because once I took the top one off, the other one wouldn't stay. It's a great yay! I very much do enjoy little things like that where it's like, hey, There's a small thing you don't really have to think about too much. Work up and like, nice. How many different colors do you have? Or is it currently pink and white solely? Come on. There it is.
What? Ja, money for the one.
I mean, arguably most colors work for Valentine's Day, but typically it'd be what? Red, pink, white, yellow, and maybe orange, I think. Okay, yeah, that's the typical color, so that makes sense. So I was thinking what colors roses can be, which roses can be a good plethora of colors. Decreasing away. Come on. Also, I should compare the to one. Okay, it seems like it's doing well enough. Like I said, this might actually be a little bit thinner than the majority of my sock yarn, so this might end up being a wee bit smaller. So I haven't used any of the Cascade Heritage for Hexipuff yet, so I wasn't sure how this was gonna go. Although this reminds me of Karen Simply Soft in the residue on it, although it's not that bad. It's like a slight level to give it some sheen. Decrease. Ta-da! No worries. Thank goodness for the bot. Alright, and then let me get into here. It's been a while since I've had those dumb bots. I guess they actually have some that actually approve their phone numbers. Alright, did I... There we go. We're all good now. Ta-da! Yeah, there's definitely been a while since I have those happen. You would think they would get the hint by now. No one wants to buy followers. Like, as a business model, that would not work, so what's the point? Nope, don't do that. Although, okay, it's backside. Decrease. Alright, I should probably have, I'd say, 1 or 2 more decrease. Yeah, 1 more decrease. After these 2 stockinets, then we should be good. Yay! But as you can see, it pretty much takes about an hour to get one of these done, which, in the grand scheme of things, that's pretty quick when it comes to a Hexipuff, so... Which, given these are size 1 needles, if this were like thicker yarn and larger needles, this actually would probably breeze by in, like, say, nearly half the time. This is like a nice small project to eventually be a big project, which my only thing is gonna be putting these together, which I'm gonna have to do probably like a bit at a time. Although my personal plan is to essentially like have it where it's like not terribly many of these will be the same color. So it's gonna be a nice bit of a rainbow blanket for myself of basically all the colors. Which you can see a good chunk of the Hexipuffs on the startup screen because I have that as my scene. Because I wanted something more current to be my background screen. Before I get started. There we go. I can speak and say the words. Also, in things minor adulting, I bought more stamps for sending stuff out, which I'm not out of stamps. I still have about 10 of these. Yeah, about... No, 13. Had used one. But given I have like 4 stickers I need to send out, that's gonna be 9, so I got stamps. Although it's not these, because apparently these are gone. So I probably should have gotten more of these at the same time I had bought these, but eh. I cannot wait for the day they have yarn stamps. I will buy those like no one's business. Yarn themed stamps. Which I imagine that is a thing that has happened at some point in time. I like buying unique stamps that, you know, most people would not see. Which that also reminds me, no one has gotten a postcard yet in the Subspins, the watercolor postcard. I honestly cannot wait to use one of those, although I probably should try them out to see how much they hold up water-wise. Which, given on the weight of them, is probably not going to be too much. Because it is actually a little less... The pound amount for that paper is a little bit less than... my Canson watercolor paper, which, yes, not the greatest paper alive, but it does its job. But given what I know of the Canson paper, that means I'm probably gonna have to be a bit diligent about if I'm gonna layer and or use terribly much in the way of paint. Because A, it'll start buckling immediately if I put too much water or paint on there. Come on. Alright, 2 more stockinette rows, and we will be done. Well, other than needing to stuff and do the Kitchener on the top of this. Also, why does this one look so lumpy? Like, I might have been a little bit short on this side. Like, I probably should have done a row or 2 more. But fold it in half and it works out pretty fine, so I swear, it always looks to me like one side's a little short. Not sure why that is. Come on. One more round. Which I imagine I say at the bar. One more round. And also looks like I need to charge my mouse, which I was just thinking that last night. Whoops. I'll have to see about that during break 2. My wireless mouse usually needs to charge like every 2 weeks or so. I meant to plug it in this morning, but I plugged in my headphones, which also uses the same type of cable, so yeah. Fully charger takes about 2 hours, so it's probably gonna be the rest of stream that stays plugged in. Ta-da! Alright. Hexipuff! Although I swear to God, this looks like it's shorter on this side and it's driving me nuts. I might rip it out and redo it, but for right now, that's what it looks like. And we're exactly at the hour mark, so yay me. So I'm definitely going to take a break and get my stuff for the socks, which socks is right here. I just need the my tablet for the chart, and I need to get the lamp over there and plug in the mouse, so it'll do as I say. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes, maybe slightly more than that. Alright, now we're all set. Yay! Camera was a bit askew. I literally had to grab something off the shelf, so I jumped down forgetting how precariously this is balanced on here, and the whole thing just kind of slipped over. So that was fun. Luckily I had nothing, well, other than these that are like highly breakable. So everything survived and we're cool. Yeah, that and unplug the mic, but I had to manage to get the plug back in. Alright, so I'm gonna plug back in the mouse for a bit. Because 10 minutes charge is not going to hold it well enough for an entire stream, so probably about half hour should do it well enough. Hopefully I will not need to type anything between now and then. Also, welcome back everybody, hope you had a good break. Now that Hexipuff is somewhat done, I honestly might reknit that. Just because it doesn't look right, and it bothers me. That's just a me thing. But yeah, now that we're done with that, we're getting on to second sock, which this is first sock. In case anybody wanted to see, which it came out alright. The fit is not perfect, although that's only for in here. In here is a bit loose. Like, arguably, if I had the time, I would just rock all the way back here just knit it, but I could probably do that once, you know, Stock Madness is done, because it's not a huge issue, but it's like, even when I pull the sock all the way up, here is like still a bit meh, and I hate it. Jen! How goes? The kitty is all taken care of. I am here with second stock, which I decided to go matching pair. I could have swapped the colors, but I was just like, nah. I didn't feel like it. So I like the colors how they are. Order-wise. He's just saying, oh, oh. He's like, why is this contraption holding me? Let me free! Yeah, honestly, I'm going real slow about it, but again, we have 6 more days. So it's fine. Did you mention? Arguably, slower team is worse in the sense of, you know, how long I end up staying there. If I want to be out quickly, a faster team is literally the best option. But I kind of just want to be middle of the road. Come on. There it is. Yeah, I'm like, I know I'm gonna get competitive. It's just like how I am in regards to this thing. Yep. Exactly that. Even though I'm trying to keep it chill, and it's like, that's why I'm like taking my time with these, even though I probably would have been a lot closer to being done. So I'm just like, eh. But yeah, I know KB finished hers already, and they're pretty. Alright. That's literally why I did just the cuff yesterday. I was like, we're just doing the cuff. Nothing more. Also, hi girl November. I saw you were here, but I was just like, let's see if she pokes her head out or she'll be busy. Yeah. She did these 2 at a time. And she's already done. Yeah, I saw her post on Atomic Stacy's Discord. She finished on the 8th. So I suspect she might get on a faster team. Alright. That finishes that. I believe so. Because she was here the other day. And I believe this is her first one. I should probably put this way so I don't have to turn my head every time. And so it's not in camera. That's better. Come on, don't do that. There it is. But yeah, I feel like I've started Sock Madness in the wrong year. It's just about the learning experience. I imagine they looked at you like, what? But yeah, most socks for Sock Madness, if not all of them, so far have fit me. Like literally, the ones that I'm wearing, darn it, I'm forgetting the name of these. The ones where I redid the chart. Oh hey, how are you doing? Poor guy, how are you? How goes your Thursday? I was about to call it Tuesday and that would have not been correct. But yeah, that mainly depends on the sizing. Because that can get a little bit wonky. Plus, if you're not familiar of how, you know, thick or thin, or, you know, like how much ease, rather, words, a sock pattern has, and if you do it a certain size, it might be too tight. That's a whole thing. I usually make this up. Fair enough. I don't have sock blocker, so I don't have the ability to do that. It's going. Sock Madness socks existing. This is the second sock. I have a finished sock here. .3D art. Oh yeah, the color's off. Yeah, color's off. Alright. Mouse is charging. Because it was blinking at me that it needed to charge. You should be all set. Oh, wrong side. Added on the Bluetooth side. Which doesn't work when I have my Bluetooth mouse on. I think the signals cross and it gets weird. Alright. White balance. And then I'd say saturation definitely needs to go up. Yeah. Why the hell did I turn that down? That was terrible. And yes, I'm aware that pun existed. I'm just pretending it didn't happen. Alright. Is that... yeah, that's good enough. Oh no! I forgot about that. Yeah, they tell you sometimes that there's like a minimum size allotted. Which sometimes that's the medium size. Which is usually why you kind of have to read the email. Just to double check. Although thankfully there's not much in the way of what's the word I'm looking for? Requirements for this round. Yeah. Oh, that was all the bees? Yeah, if that's brioche for last year, that was all the bees. That sucks. Because that stock was a lot of chart. Although, most of the socks last year were like charts forever, and I hated it. Although, I feel like that's pretty much all the socks from Stock Madness, but it just depends how insane the charts get from year to year. But yeah, you're probably correct on a small not having the brioche. Nope, there it is. Oh, yeah. That would also do it. Yeah, I think I recall you saying that. That makes complete sense. You were just like, yep. I think the socks right after that, I was just like, nope, we're not doing this. I don't feel like doing this anymore, so... I quit. Pretty much. Because I just kind of got burnt out. They weren't difficult. That was the year of the beads, yes, but those were the ones where it's like the butterfly. I think it was like vertical color work. Which it wasn't complicated, my brain was not for it. I didn't want to. Cause just like, I managed through all the bead socks, that one was just like, nope. Alright. Do. But yeah, I forget the pattern off the top of my head right now. Although, actually, I can check on Adobe Acrobat. That's where I first opened the all the bees. Is it Little Etude? Might be. Because this looks familiar. Yep, Little Etude. Which I don't think I'll honestly ever knit these. It's just like my brain's like, nope. There it is. Yeah, the vertical color work, I was just like, The thing is, it's not difficult. Just, it did not work for me. I was just like, You had to like, I remember you had to cut the yarn into like little things, making them into little butterflies, and I was just like, what is this? Like, I literally didn't even get to the heel. That's how much I did not want to. Yeah, I was just done at that point in time. Because it was just, it's simple. I think after all of the other patterns, I was just like, nope. No thanks. Completely fair. They have some bonus patterns that are like not as crazy, so it's perfectly fine. Like there's one like mermaid socks that I do want to eventually get to. But we'll see. Also, what's Echoes that I've had it in my stash to knit some point. That will also be on there. Also, welcome back. It goes. Yeah, I honestly didn't think I'd be able to get through an entire pair in a week. Like, it still blows my mind because a shorty pair took me 8 days, although I was sick at the time, so that makes sense. Thank you. I really do like these. Like, these I probably would have never paired them together, I'll be real honest. But they work really well. Also, I'm gonna turn down the gain since I have the light on, which I probably should have done that. Also, let me put in this redemption as complete so I can close that. And then, let's see. Where are we? Oh, I closed that, so I have to open that again. Yay! Configure video. Because it's still somewhat sunny outside, but it feels dark enough over here that I'm just like, let me turn on this lamp here so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. That's much better. Yeah, these are both nitpicks. This is Hawthorne. I think I've mentioned this before, but Hawthorne, Tonal Sylvina, and this is Straw Tonal in Blue Violet. Alright, what was I doing? 3 cable. Nope, don't do that. No, we're not doing that. Thank you. This does not split as much. Thank you. I appreciate the bits. You didn't have to. Also, if anybody's interested in doing the drop game, you can get those little things that are bopping across the stream to knock into you for funsies. But I appreciate it. Also, that reminds me, when I was chatting with you yesterday about stuff and things, I realized that most laundry detergent does not really use bleach. So actually getting that yarn is fine. Bleach is more like if you're like doing some hard cleaning. Thank you for the bits, Lexico. I appreciate you guys. I swear, almost no one really uses the tombstone bits. I like it when they happen, but those tend to happen more during Halloween. Or if they really wanna, yeah. But it's one of those, if I use that specific yarn, I'll probably have to note. What's his face? Ah! That makes sense. This is reminding me, I have not gotten a survey in how long? Although they showed up with one for like a $5 gift card, and I was just like, I would like bits so I'd be able to give bits to people. Because I don't buy bits, because fuck that. Yeah, more than likely. Uh-oh. Something is incorrect. No, I'm fine. So yeah, 2, back, front. Alright, cool. I don't know why I thought I did the second front one for a second. That does make sense, though. They do have lull periods in their advertisements, so it stands to reason that happens. Wait. Yep. Something's not right here. Hold on. Hold the phone. Yeah, that's supposed to be that. So, let's go here. Did I drop a stitch? I swear to God, if I dropped a stitch, I will scream. Okay, I don't see a what? Okay. So then why am I missing a pearl here? Wait. Oh, that would do it. There we are. Because those stitches shouldn't be together. Hello. I have not done this yet in these socks, so that's interesting. The hell? Hold on. Let me go back this way and see what the hell I did. No worries. Glad to see you, Jane. Hopefully the rest of your workday goes well. Also, my stomach existence hungry. I had food. Alright, so let me tank back this way. The rest of the row is fine, it's just right there. I screwed up somehow. What the actual hell? Guess we're gonna tank for a wee bit. Come on. I am sad I cannot have my tea today. My stomach has been absolutely a pain in the ass this past week. Which the medication is still not done, so I'm not sure why my stomach has decided, at least presuming it's my stomach, has decided it doesn't like me. Yeah. If this continues, I will probably poke them about it and be like, this is being weird. And the thing is, I'm still not done on the medication. I'm weaning off the last bits of it. So, this kind of shouldn't be happening. I don't know what the deal is. And given the whole MRI thing, that didn't show anything. So I'm like half wondering if it's getting worse or, you know, it's gotten to the point of an ulcer, although I'm pretty sure it would be even worse if that were an ulcer. But yeah, basically it's just like, can I just be fine for like 5 minutes, please? That's all I ask. Queen Ray, hello. How goes? I am tanking, because I have made a mild mistake. So, that is the current going-ons. If you feel like shower. It's literally like, it burns, like, and I'm still having some of the, you know, usual symptoms, you know, of just like, you know, not all of them, but like, it feels like it might just be, you know, that, but worse. But the thing is, it hasn't increased in severity. So I'm hoping it's not something that involves me having to, you know, need like any sort of emergency medical looky-loo. I really am not in the mood for this. Just ready to be done with this blanket. I just have to sew on the letters. No. I hate sewing on things, especially to blankets. Alright, go back to 9. Yeah, I'm just waiting it out and see if that'll help. And if it doesn't change, I'm literally just going to be like, hi, my insides feel like they're mildly burning. And I would kind of like it to stop, please. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that the MRI was recent, I'd honestly be mildly worried that it's something else, but given the recentness of that, it should be alright. No, remember, I had that done in order to get that checked out in the first place? That's why they discovered that. This was like in July? Yeah, July of last year. But I haven't had one done since then. They had seen some scarring and sort of thing. They didn't notice anything, you know, severe. So yeah, I'm just in the... Yeah. I'm just in the... Land if I don't know. Come on. There we are. Tinkety tink, tink, tink. Just gotta tink back this side. Also, how are we doing on time here? Alright, breaks in another, like, 15 minutes? So, I'll hopefully be able to fix my mistake and then get back to where I was. So we should be fine here. This is the first time I've had to, like, really... Well, other than the annoyance that was the foot of the first sock. Although that's more of me not keeping track of when the slip and the knit rows should be. So that was kind of my fault. Although I feel like if it were... if the colors were more solid, it probably wouldn't have been as noticeable. Because the first iteration of the Wohin socks, I definitely lost track, but you can't really tell. As long as it has like a general look to it, I imagine it's fine. Alright, so that's that side. And I think it's over here. Hands. Alright, it's okay over here. So I'm not gonna need to undo the entirety of this area. So that should be fine. At least I hope not. Alright, and then, yeah, it's right there. So, where does this come in? Is my question. I'm guessing this might be the cable. Okay, so what are we doing down here? So, let's see. So, front, do the thing. Back, do the thing. To front. To back. So yeah, that's like... And then once that happens, it gets narrowed in on 10, so that's fine. So yeah, that was 4 there. And then... yeah, it doesn't look like it dropped a stitch. No, you're fine. I'm literally just gonna be sitting here puzzling out where the hell I went wrong. So, it's fine. Okay, yeah, that puzzles me back. That. And then... okay, that's 5 there. And once that... yeah, that's that one. That makes sense. And then... oh, it's back, so there should be a pearl right here. Alright, pearl here, and then... yeah, so there should be a pearl. So... where'd that go? Where in the hell did that go? This is weird. Yeah, it doesn't look like I dropped a stitch anywhere. So this is really befuddling. Yeah, I'll just tink back further. It's fine. But yeah, that's really, really weird. I don't understand. Come on. And then I'll have to tank around that row to get back around here. And I was like, hey, this sock's gonna go a lot faster than the first one. The lies that have been told. Come on. There it is. There it is. And alright, there we go. That does that. Yeah, nope. Did I go? Oh no, it's just I got caught right there. That's fine. Alright, so that brings me back to row 8 here. I'm gonna need something to snack on during the break because I am mildly hungry. Nope, 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 come back. There we are. We are tanking along as I do a thing to fix a mistake. Whoops, nope. Also, Queen Ray, how many letters do you have to sew on? Come on. Alright. Almost break time. At least get back to where the issue is and get that done. Nope. Come on. Almost there. There it is. But in general, I do hope I might be able to finish this sock by Monday, but, you know, there is some room. But given how fast these typically go, we're not screwing up, I wager probably. But it's only 2 repeats for the leg, so that goes pretty quick. And then it's the heel. Like, the foot's pretty much the longest portion of this thing. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 stance. Wait. What is that? Hi, hello. What is that? Okay, no, that's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me count if this is still 35 stitches here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, then why am I missing a stitch? Questions. Alright, so based on the fact that I'm on this row here, cable, do the thing, 4, and then it's 2, yes, 4, and then it's 2 front ones, which, let's see, no, 2 back ones, actually, so, let's see. Okay, that's that one, so that's fine. Do this, and then deal with this. I know I should be taking my break, but I just want to at least get this row back in order. But as long as I haven't lost a stitch, pretty much we are fine here. It's when in cabling and stuff that you lose a stitch where things get a little bit tricky and or annoying. Alright. Come on. Nope, don't do that. Do. Front. Close this because I probably won't need that for now. Four. Let's see. Back. And then back. Come on, you can do it. Oh, the second one is a knit thing. Whoops. Let's not do that. Do the thing. So if anybody wants to check out any of my socials in places like Ko-fi YouTube or my regular website, totally feel free to click on the Linktree link that is currently hanging out in chat. I saw it when it popped up, but I was preoccupied with sock fixing. To note that. Oops. Alright, and then front. One, two. Then back again. Yeah, I left that there, so that's fine. I don't need to cross over for the moment. And then there should be Pearl 5. Yeah, Pearl 5. So we are set here. So back to the slip row of row 9. And now I'm going to take my second break. There it is. Alright, so we have fixed our possible issues. Also, I need to clean these. Yeah, these are fogged. I need to clean these. But yeah, break time for me. I am punching. Ow. Let's not do that. I'll be back in about, again, the usual 10 minutes and continuing working on the sock. Hopefully no issues with standing. So I will be back. There we go. Hello, I have a face again. How are you guys? Hope you guys enjoyed the break. Got myself a slight snack of crackers because my stomach was grumbling at me. So, that's good. I believe I'm on, row 9, not 10, given I had the tank. Not a problem. Pretty chill. I typically don't ping in there. We have a bunch of different places to throw all the patterns and such. And various things, so hopefully you like it and enjoy hanging out with us. Nine, wrong row. I was like, wait. Yeah, it was the Daisy emote, so you're good. But just to note, we do not have Plinko on this screen, but we do have the drop game, so if you'd like to play around with that, that is an option available to you. But just like the Plinko game, it does have a 1-minute reset, because that's the shortest amount of time I could have it set to when it comes to resetting it. No. Alright, anyone? Yay! I didn't see that. That was your emote. Aw. Nope. How about if I do the thing that would help? But yes, anybody coming in, I'm working on the Qualifier socks for Sock Madness, the Angel Crystal socks, which this is sock 2. I am taking my time. I'd probably be a wee bit closer to finishing, but that's fine. Hold on. Let's see. Pearl 3. Four, 1, 2. 4, 2, 1. Alright, hold on. Let me double check what the previous row is for right here. Ah, that would do it. Yeah, I don't think I did that correctly. That would be why. Okay, second one. Wait, how about that? That looks like it came from... Yeah, the order looks like it's weird. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're good. I was like, I swore I did that correctly. There we go. Do. 3. Alright, we're set on this side. Do you have any ideas for any other emotes, Daisy? Also, did you draw that, or did someone draw that for you? Alright, come on. You. There we are. New. One. I'm a prolonged hiatus. I need... Ah, okay. Yeah, I've been seeing that's a thing lately. Or at least the past couple of months, anyway. That figures. If I hadn't realized you were on hiatus. I'm guessing life stuff and things, which, again, you do not need to answer if you do not want to. Nope. Come on, please. There we are. Two. 3. And that should be, yep, that's the correct amount. So we're good. And now I can go back to row 10 this time with less annoyances, hopefully. Obviously, definitely no rush. But hopefully I'll be able to catch you depending on what your schedule is, depending whenever you get the chance to get back on. Whatever the case may be on that. Okay, I thought that split for a second. I would have been very miffed. Also, yeah, I'm a bit back there. Which I should not be. Front. back. Need to sort out. Life things are annoying. I can attest to that, as pretty much all of us can, I imagine, here, so I feel that. But hopefully merging the home offices is very much successful. Because that can get tricky, and plus, if, he gets noisy, that would probably not be helpful. Alright, let's see. Back, front. What are we doing here? Back, front. Come on. There we are. We're both gamers, so it works out. Okay, that works well. I wasn't sure because, sometimes, depending on the things, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Also, thank you for the host. Also, thank you whoever hosted during the break. I heard the alert go off, but I didn't see who it was. I appreciate whoever hosted then as well. Very much appreciate you. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. Come on. Overall, not bad. I literally had to think back before I went on break to get this issue here fixed, but not terrible. Besides some probable stomach things. But that's a long story. Anyhow, how goes Thursday? And how goes the school stuff? Also, right now I'm working on the Sock Madness Qualifier. This is the second sock since I finished the first sock. What was it? Not yesterday, the day before that. Which, mostly, I like the sock, except here. Here I'm not a fan of. Which, most people are not a fan of because this is pretty long for a heel flap. Like, typically my heel flaps are probably about half this size. So it's just like, what? Like, I probably could have knit this on size 1s and that would have been better. Although, arguably, if I put this in the washing machine and, let it mildly shrink in the dryer, it would probably fit a lot better. Thursday's the grind. Grind. History and Anthro. Oh, that's tomorrow. Good luck. I don't miss tests at all. Yeah, I do not miss tests. Alright, front. Come on. And there we go. I'm a bit out of frame, so let's move this camera a little further down. Back, front. Also, I imagine you'll be glad to be done all the not criminal justice classes, and then get bound to the classes you actually care about doing. Because that's the one thing I'm not fond of when it comes to doing undergrad, where it's just like, hey, here are all these classes which I'll probably never need in my life. And then after all of that slog, you'll get the actual classes. Alright, back, front. Uh-oh, no. Nope, don't do that. We're not losing stitches, please. And back. Hello? Oh, mildly. Split. Yeah, I knew what it was, but I figured she would rather want to say it herself. Alright, 6. Alright, we are good. So I can move on from this row. Alright, so probably not gonna get through the entirety of this repeat by the end of stream, but that is perfectly fine. Since I can do that later and then probably spend tomorrow doing the other repeat and then getting to the heel. Which I'm probably gonna go down a needle size for the heel flap. Nope. There it is. Alrighty. I will likely be subjected to laundry, if not today, tomorrow myself, so not looking forward to that. I hate laundry. More like I hate the folding and putting away part. The chucking it in the machine part, I'm perfectly alright with. Also, once I'm done with this row, I'm gonna probably check on my brother. Because I think he might need my help, so probably go deal with that. Although, given that, it's kind of hilarious given my direct back screen. Because typically half the time, at least, I get interrupted because I have to go and get the laundry. And or someone wants me to do something. Do. There we are. Ta-da! Alright, so that finishes row 11, so that has me at row 12, and now I'm gonna go take a quick break. Be right back. Whoops, wrong screen. There we go. Also, my hair is insistently floof up top. Alright, where am I? Row 12, so back to main color. Alright, front, back. Cables forever. Alright, and then there's this. Nope, that's split. Yikes, how did I manage to split that? Oh, because it's a stroll yarn. There we are. But yeah, someone else took care of it for me, so I managed to pop back in here. And we will see how far I get on second stock in the next 20 minutes or so. Front, back again. There we go. And yep. I cannot believe it's this close to 4, at least for me already. The afternoon has kind of gone by pretty quickly. Not that I was really in a rush for it to do so in the first place. Not like I have anywhere to be. It's pretty much gonna be me and socks, and also probably gonna see about putting up those, if not today, probably tomorrow. Putting up those Etsy listings I have in my drafts. 45, woohoo! So close. So, wait, yeah, you're in my time zone, 4:30. You can do it. Come on. I was like, wait, what? No, I just sent you a thing. I know what time zone you're in. Back. Alright, and pre-rolls are back on, so forgive me anyone who is not a sub. The potential thing of Twitch throwing random ads at you is now back in play. 2. Front, back. Aw, thank you. It was funnily enough not my intention to be, chill stream in general, but that's kind of just how my vibes have gone too. I feel like that's kind of a thing I get in general, that I'm pretty chill. According to them, I tend to be like, I disagree, but okay. Of course, given the whole, it's not easy for me to take a compliment, so yeah. That's a whole thing. Nope, 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 nope. Get back here. There we are. But yeah, I very much like being chill company. There we go. Halfway point, woohoo! Like I said, I knew we were not going to get to the end of this repeat, but we're at least halfway. As long as we're making progress, that's pretty much all that matters. Nope. Let's not split that. Cool. Okay, that is a pearl. It just looks weird. I was like, no, we're not making mistakes again. Just looked weird. Yeah, this is pretty much a pearl to pearls as you see them row. There we are. So, in addition to getting new yarn to try out, I kind of want to play around with the scrubbies a little bit. Which the face scrubbies, I believe, if not today, tomorrow, are going to disappear from the shop, so that's a thing. Which I'm playing around with buying more stock of that yarn. But I want to see how I feel about the other yarn. Oh, staring at that. What was I about to... Wow, I completely blanked on what I was looking... I was about to look at on my phone for a second. Whoops. I was like, I was gonna look at a quick thing and my brain just completely lost it. I swear, streaming brain is like the memory of a goldfish. And I hate it. You would think I'd be better at this after nearly 5 years, but no. Although, arguably, there are worse things. Come on. Alright, there we go. Oh yeah, I think I was talking about the scrubbies, but again, there's not terribly much in the way of scrubby yarn using cotton, which is mildly an annoyance. And I'm trying to have scrubbies that involve yarn that does not come from Joann's, just because of the whole, hey, $10 for shipping and handling, which I very much do not want. There's not one nearby me, so can't really grab anything in person to make the shipping costs not exist. Which the only other yarn I can think of is maybe the Red Heart one. It's like I'm trying to see if I have any scrubby yarn that's not that's cotton, but literally the scrub off is the only one. But given they discontinued one of the colors that I used, I'm just like, maybe I should, you know, find something else also. I literally didn't even switch which thing I'm on. Although I'm still correct, so yay! I literally just went on autopilot for a second and just went and knit the knits like I'm on a slip row, which I am not. But thankfully, this is one of the rows where that actually was not a mistake there. Yee! Come on. Nope. Why are we doing that? Thank you. And in things I realized like one of my IDs is gonna expire this year, which I have time because it's on my birthday, so very much have time before that expires, but still. I'm gonna check and see if I can renew that online so I don't have to go there in person. That's gonna be a pain. Which, although I do hope that the gas thing is not a thing at this point. If I do have to go there in person, but we'll see. Okay, mouse, you go there so I don't have to knock the cable on you. That tap noise is mildly annoying. Right now it's like, I think one of the places is like $4.30. Like literally that is the price, $4.30. Last I checked. Which, you know, it's probably gonna go up from there, so yeah. This is gonna suck so bad. I do wonder what the prices as they are, if demand for gas is gonna go down, and whether that will potentially mitigate the price, which I highly doubt it, given, you know, everybody, I imagine, kind of, well, not every single person, but enough people are like, we're free of the plague and whatnot, so we can go wherever we want to go, and blah blah blah. Plus, this is probably gonna raise airfare like nothing. Like, it's gonna suck really bad. But arguably, it's also par for the course because everything has been going up this year. Like, it's been absolutely nuts. I mean, other than, you know, how much you get paid to do your job. In relation to the, yeah. Especially if you're near, like, you know, the highway, that's where they really start getting at you. Come on. Where are we? There we are. 2, 3, 4. Nope. Ta-da! If you're off the beaten path a little bit, that usually helps in the severity of how high gas prices are, but yeah, only so much that can do. Oop, there we are. Unrelated to gas prices, I am finally slowly running out of business cards. Like, I'm down to like 20 something of them, so if I happen to get like a couple more Etsy orders soon enough, I'm probably gonna need to go buy some new business cards, which I'll be very much happy to do so, because I've had those cards for years. Like, literally, I've had them for like probably, I'd say maybe 4 years, because that was before I did my name change on Twitch. I had those business cards, which I like them, but A, I think I want them out of slightly thicker material. B, I kind of want the curved corners, because I like the curved corners. It's a thing. I like the appeal of the aesthetic of it. Very much a thing. Alright, so... And yeah! Mr. Rabbit, hello! Yeah, it's a whole thing, and it's just like, ugh. But it's like, part of the information is outdated, so I'm like, yeah, I probably should at some point. Plus, it allows me to play around in Autodesk Sketchbook and Krita, because I tend to do my initial sketches on my tablet and then go to my computer to finish them off. But that's not gonna be a right now thing unless, you know, circumstances make that more likely to be a thing. Also, hi, how you doing? How goes your Thursday? Hope all is well. I'm here for probably not terribly much longer. I'm here working on my Sock Madness Qualifier sock. Which I'm halfway through the first repeat here. So we're making progress. thankfully I only need 2 repeats for the leg here. Because I'm actually so used to it being more, but I guess the leg would be too long. But given there have been a couple of sock madness socks. Nice! Buttonholes are handy. I usually have to go recheck what that entails when it comes to knit-wise. Although it's not difficult, but it's just one of those, how does that go again? I forgot. And what have you made a buttonhole for? Remind me asking. Yep. Alright, cool. I don't think I've actually crocheted one. Yeah, I have knit a couple, but I've not knit one. Yay! I have a tea cozy, like, over there. Just a square of buttons on either side to whatever works. Which I don't think I've used mine terribly much. I had hand spun the yarn and knit that. It's like I've barely used the thing. Because typically I tend to not hold that when it's too hot, so. Which I would show you if it was in reach, but it's like annoyingly far back, and I'm like, my arms don't go that far, unfortunately. Other side. Nope. No. Get back here. There we are. I've just been using tea towels. For the... yeah. Yeah. Which, funny you bring up tea towels. I actually, my Etsy shop, I knit and crochet tea towels. In my Etsy shop. Which I'm in the midst of possibly experimented with using some other cotton yarn. Well, the experimenting won't happen until the yarn gets here, given I just ordered it yesterday. So we'll see how that works. But I do hope the square works out a lot better, so you can have use of your tea towels again. Nope. How have I slipped that stitch when I was not supposed to? Get back here. Alright. Do I want to do one more round? Nah. Stand a second to stretch and then see if I can maybe go host somebody or something. Also, you're making me miss the fact that I didn't get to have tea today. So I have some tea I've been looking forward to try. It's almost, yeah, that's a thing. Which sometimes there's cotton yarn that has some polyester in it. Like, not a ton, but it's like at least slightly some polyester, which I'm not totally a fan of. Although, actually, I actually use Cottonies, which is half cotton, half acrylic, which is pretty much the same thing, and I don't mind that. Although it splits a little bit. Alright, let's see. Is there anybody crafting on here? Okay, there's at least a couple people crafting. It's 100%. Ugh. Yeah. Polyester is nice for garments, but yeah. It has its use, but no. That ain't it. Let's see. If you mind me asking, where are you located? Because, there is I have an affiliate link to Nitpicks, and they have cotton. They have cotton yarn, so if you could... If you want to, you can check that out. I have Nitpicks / We Crochet, and they sell cotton yarn, Dishy. They have a couple different types of Dishy, and it's 100% cotton in a bunch of different colors. So, if, you know, if they ship to you, that's certainly an option. I'm back. Okay. No worries. Just to know, if you happen to buy anything off of those, it's an affiliate link, so I get a little bit back. So, just to let you know up front. Yeah, welcome back, Daisy. Also, welcome back, Alicia. Thank you. It's getting there. I managed to get farther now that I fixed my mistake. But yeah, first sock. Which I really do like. The general consensus is the dislike of this heel flap, which... Oh, they ship to you! Nice! Yay! That is awesome to hear. Given the solids, they just got some new colors in too, so you have a bit more of an option in selection-wise than you did, like, say, 2 weeks ago. But they do have a bunch of colors to begin with, but yeah. When it comes to the sock, this heel flap is just like... Who decided this was cool? I kind of wish I did like a... What's the thing? A lifeline and just went back here and just shorten this or something. Or use smaller needles. Smaller needles would have worked too, because I have 1s and size 0s. But just a note, We Crochet has the smaller shipping threshold. They have $35 and Nitpicks has about $65 if memory serves. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to look for like a smaller amount to get for free shipping. We Crochet is usually your best bet. It's just that you won't be able to get, say, knitting needles off of there. But most of the yarn is on both of them because they're of the same company. It's like We Crochet is just an offshoot of Nitpicks, so more crochet centric. But yeah, pretty much same deal. So Jane had mentioned possibly doing this like inverted, but I was just like, nah, I like these socks the way they are. which, given how much this stretch, I could have gone down to a 1 maybe, but given the color work, I wasn't sure, so I'm using my 2s. That's typically the way I go for color work, but I had never done a helix sock before, so I hadn't realized that, you know, there would be this much stretch to them. The leg and the foot fit fine. I'd probably, yeah. I might reknit this toe and go down a size or 2 in the needles to help that out a little bit. We'll see. Anyhow, I have a face and slightly messy hair, but it's fine. Alright. Ta-da! So we did not get through a pattern repeat, but I figured once I was ending up doing the Hexipuff, I was not going to get the amount of time I needed to get through a repeat, but that's just fine. I'm probably going to do this after stream if I get this chance, so there's that. But yeah, let me make sure I thanks the peoples. Girl number! I wasn't sure if you popped back in. Thanks. Thank you for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. Lexical, thank you for the bits both times. Girl November, thank you for the bits as well. Panda Azumi, thank you for the follow. And let's see. Alicia, thank you for the host. I'm pretty sure there have been like at least 1 or 2 other hosts, because I heard one host while I was away, but I didn't see who it was, but I very much appreciate you. I should be back again on Saturday, and it'll likely be a lot more sock than you see here, so that's the game plan there. Sorry, no, you're fine. Always happy to have you. Just to note, my schedule is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from about 1 to 4 p.m., give or take, but, you know, if you see the VOD from Tuesday, I got started late and ended late, so things happen, and time slots can shift. There we go. Alright, so Torno Soul is on, so I think we're gonna head over her way, which, she's a milliner, she makes hats, and she sews clothes and stuff. She makes some really cute things. So very much a nice place to hang out. Pretty chill. So I'm gonna wait for that, and then I'm gonna have it be a raid, although that's only because, you know, hosts don't show up because Twitch did their thing, so that's a thing. So let's get this started here. Hype is not required. But if you would like to throw in some hype, I will throw you guys some raid calls. First one for non-subs, other one for subs if you would like to use them. There you go. Thank you.